What's going on YouTube? This is 3zinferno, so here to talk to you guys today about Inzektors. Inzektors are actually a really good deck. If you haven't looked at the YCS Les Pig, the German deck list already, top 4, that he has one of the better deck lists for Inzektors. The guy that everyone thought was crazy at first for running 3 Hopper and 3 Zet Caliber. That deck is actually really consistent. If you haven't tested against it, test against it. It's really powerful. The reason why is I've actually looked at Hopper before and said it's a good card. Zed Caliber, I can see why you could run it. It is a good card and it's a plus still. So, but I don't exactly like the card, but I do like Hopper. The reason why is being Hopper, when it's equipped, it's a first turn searcher. What it does is when it's equipped, you can send it to the graveyard, and that Insector can attack directly that turn. The reason it's good is because it can search out Hornet from your deck. How it does this is, let's say you start off first turn, and you go first. So even if you have Hornet in your hand, you have nothing to pop. So let's say you normal summon Dragonfly, activate effect, and your opponent's gonna be like, I don't think I'm gonna Veiler that. No, I'm not gonna Veiler that. And then because doesn't matter if they get equip Hornet, it's like, okay, well, I can get rid of it. So then you equip Hopper, and they're like, huh? They're like, crap. And then they go Hopper. So they send Hopper, which Dragonfly can attack directly that turn. But since it can't attack, that part doesn't matter. The part that matters is Dragonfly can then special Centipede. Then Centipede can equip Hopper, send, and then you search Hornet to your hand. Or in that guy's deck case, he could search Zet Caliber, or another Dragonfly Centipede, or anything in the Insector card. So you would add Hornet to your hand, and that is a +1, and you added a Hornet to your hand. That's amazing. So that's really consistent. So if you guys aren't all running Insectors, you should run Hoppers. Hoppers are just really good. Now, on to the big 3 cards against Insectors. Max C is actually the worst card of the 3 cards against Insectors. Reason being is only chains to like Dragonfly and Reborn and maybe Call the Haunted, and that's about it. Doesn't change him too many other things, and I guess Gigamantis' effect too, and Tour Guide. But like Maxi is the worst card in that matchup. The best cards are actually Phoenix Chain and Infect Veiler. Infect Veiler is run less now than usual, which is hard because that's how Insectors sneak under the radar, because less people are maining Veilers. They're maining 3 Max C's because they're afraid of dinos and windups, and that's how Insectors sneak under the radar, because less people are main decking Veiler or just main decking 1 copy, and it's really hard to decide how many to main deck because Veiler's not good against Dino Rabbit. It's okay against windup, and it's great against Insectors. But if you plan to see more Dino Rabbit, then you're going to put more Max C's in because it's better. So that's the dilemma we have these days. Do we main 3 Max C and 1 Veiler? Or 3 Max C and no Veiler to stop Rabbits and Windups but have a hard time against Insectors? Or do we side 2 Max C, 2 Veilers with the hope that you play less Dino Rabbits because Veiler doesn't do that much against Dino Rabbits? See, it's just a dilemma, and that's a horrible dilemma to have, because it's just a dice roll. You just, whatever luck you run into that day or whatever decks you play. So it's a hard decision, and I can't really tell you what to do. But personally, I am playing 3 Maxi and 1 Veiler with double Phoenix Chain main decked. Might increase the Phoenix Chain to 3. I might have to, but we'll see with some more test playing. And Phoenix Chain, of course, is also good against Insectors. The same reason Infect Veiler is, because it stops it from equipping, and thus not being allowed to loop with Hornet and do all those plays that they can make. So, side cards against Insectors. Alright, so DD Crow is an obvious choice. You DD Crow the Hornet. However, if you don't know the rulings, if you DD Crow their Hornet and they have another Hornet or another target in their hand, they can equip from their hand. And also, if you don't know, you should watch my previous Insector windup ruling videos. You'll learn a lot more about Insector and windup rulings. Then you should side Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. Also another obvious one. Shadow Imprisoning because it's good to stop all their effects. and things like that. Another thing that I like is smashing ground. Reason being is sometimes you just can't get over a centipede and a dragonfly. Like, you can only summon one monster, and that's really bad for you. But if you can get past both the monsters, then you stand a better chance. Also, I cite Cyber Dragon for one Cyber Dragon. This is somewhat the same reason, but also because sometimes they're allowed. Let's say they go Dragonfly, and then Centipede they pop 2 cards, attack, and then they exceed into Zen mains just to protect themselves because they have no back row. And you go, or just one like an MST or something, and then you go Cyber Dragon, contact, and then you can get through those end mains and do all these shenanigans. Plus, Cyber Dragon is bigger than all the Insectors and all that, so I like Cyber Dragon in this matchup too. You know, there's a lot of cards that Insectors were. The reason why a lot of people don't like to play Insectors is because it has a bad game 2 and 3. There's just a lot of cards that everyone sides for Insectors, and it's hard to play around sometimes. So if you playing Insectors, you have to be creative with your side deck. Make sure you know what people are siding against you and side accordingly, because you know what they're going to side, and you want to be creative and make sure that you can get past their side. Because honestly, everyone's going to side Shadow Imprisoning and DD Crow, so you want to make sure you're prepared for that matchup. And guys, Insectors, even if you lose game 1, don't lose hope, because Insectors are one of the worst decks. Okay, I'm saying this wrong. Not one of the worst decks. I'm trying to say that this is the easiest to side against Insectors. They have a really hard time fighting against decks that side against them. So, you know, just be prepared and side really well, and hopefully you guys will all do fine. Alright? So, last deck we're going to talk about is Samurai, and that will be next time. Alright, thanks guys. 3zinferno signing out.